Ladies and gentlemen, we're going deep looking at the waiver wire again, and we're looking at those running backs today. We're looking at those top running backs, those lottery ticket stashes. We're going deep down the depth charts to help you find those gems that are hiding under the radar. Before we dig in, though, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're going deeper than anybody else on YouTube when it comes to strategizing around the waiver wire. Countless videos throughout the week. We're deep diving all the trending prospects with the Unique series. And then at the end of the week, we're helping you set your lineups with the Must Start series, covering every single matchup on the slate. Click that subscribe button. Stop missing out. Ric Flair's watching. You do not want to disappoint Ric Flair. But the first waiver wire running back that we're looking at today is Blake Corum. And if Kyren Williams goes down, you're going to want Blake Corum. He's one of the top lottery ticket stashes in the National Football League. He's looking good on the field. He's getting touches and opportunities. He's not a standalone asset. Like, it's going to be very rare that he cracks more than 10 PPR fantasy points. But if Kyren goes down, you know he's getting all the work. You know he's getting that Kyren treatment. If you got Kyren, you got a spot, you better get Blake Corum, because all it takes is that much of an injury, and everybody's blown fat on Blake Corum, and that's just how it's going to be, especially everyone's seeing him. Just take these opportunities, take these snaps, and look good on the field. He's going to be a fab buster. Tyler Allgeier will also be a fab buster, because if Bijan goes down, everybody knows that Tyler Allgeier, former 1,000-yard rusher, actually has a couple games where he hit in fantasy production this year, just a handful. So he can be a standalone asset when it comes to lineup setting as a dire play on the flex, which is hard to do for a lottery ticket running back. He's doing that, but he would get red zone looks. He would get a lot of touches up the gut. Tyler Allgeier is one of the top handcuffs right now in the National Football League. Basil Tuten. If Travis Etienne goes down, he's getting that Travis Etienne workload. He's got 4.3 speed. He's got a lot of upside. A lot of people are pegging him to get opportunities later this season, which might happen, but something's going to have to happen to Travis Etienne more than likely. Something's going to happen to him. And Basil Tuten, though, has flashed a little bit here and there on the field. He got a touchdown in Week 9 here against the Raiders. He's got some gusto to his game, and he would be the next man up. Tank Bigsby. Saquon Barkley rolled into the bye week with a groin injury. It was day-to-day, so we're not expecting that to be an impact, but we've seen injuries with these running backs just keep cropping back up after they got nicked up. And you got Tank Bigsby here, cracked over 100 yards against the Giants. He looked explosive. He looked good on the field. And this could be a lottery ticket player that you pick up on the short term, just in case that groin injury just pops again on the field or whatever, or it just gets ramped up again later on down the road. But Tank Bigsby looks like he is the cuff for Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley getting a lot of touches in this offense. I would not ignore that. Brian Robinson, the cuff for Christian McCaffrey. All these top running backs have a cuff that are rather interesting, rather entertaining. And Brian Robinson, we can tell by the touches throughout the year that he would be the next man up. He might get messed with a little bit because behind him they do have some good talent, and we would speculate on those running backs for sure. They would all probably get unique videos. They're all fun in their own ways, but Brian Robinson would be the next man up. He would be the fab buster. He would be getting the touches. He would be the running back that you'd hitch your wagon to. Manny Wilson, the cuff to Josh Jacobs, and you're seeing it here and there. He'll actually splash here and there to the fairway, just randomly in some weeks because he's getting so much work and volume in this offense. He did it even last year. And if Jacobs ever goes down, you're going to want him on your roster. And now we're in double-digit weeks. We're pushing towards the fantasy playoffs. The one thing about the fantasy playoffs is once your ride or die running backs goes down, it could be anybody from Bijan to Josh Jacobs, whoever it is, depending on your format, depending on your lineup setting requirements. Because if you're in a deeper league, somebody like Josh Jacobs might be your Bijan due to the settings and requirements. Manny Wilson would be your cuff. And if you got caught naked in the playoffs, now you're going to have to go up against Manny Wilson, who's getting that Josh Jacobs workload. So you may want to get your insurance policies in order, not just here, but everybody we just talked about. Isaiah Davis. Isaiah Davis is still going to be sharing the workload with Breece Hall. So that was a speculation that ran bad, but he is also getting work in this offense. If something does happen to Breece Hall, you have him stashed. But I don't know if you want to be stashing Jets. They're wheeling, dealing. They're getting ready for the drafts. He does have 9 targets over his last 2 games. Scored 17 points against the Bengals, though. You got the Browns coming up. Not a great matchup. Patriots on the road. Not a great matchup. But if you want a stash lottery ticket, here you go. Kareem Hunt. He's usable in lineups. That's what we're looking at here. He's usable in lineups, should be rostered in most leagues. But also an afterthought, considering this backfield has been rather volatile and ambiguous. We're rolling into the bye. Isaiah Pacheco will be back. But Kareem Hunt, if he's there, more for lineups, but very ambiguous, and you're hoping for the touchdown. Nick Chubb, you got to be dire. You got to be dire. He's still getting volume and he's snatching it away from Woody Marks, but the upside's not there. Even his best weeks, it's 15 points. So what? 15's good, but they are few and far between, and they're on accident. You got to score the touchdown. You got to have something happening in that matchup. More than likely, you're seeing him around 7, 8, 2, 8, 3, a 12 here and there. That's what you're getting here. So are you going to start him, or are you going to start somebody like Brashard Smith or somebody else like that backup running back with a little pop, a little gusto, to see if they can crack that goal line, to see if they crack that big play, see if you can shoot for that upside? Or are you going to go for 8, 12, 3 to see if it turns into 12? See if that turns into 12. Because he's scoring in the single digits more often than not. He is getting touches. Which you're more likely to get to 10. But is that what you really want? Tyjae Spears. We're still sharing the backfield with Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard did not get traded. So we're kind of in that Woody Marks, Nick Chubb territory here. It's a bad offense. It's very ambiguous. We're on bye right now. The appeal was Tony Pollard getting shipped off and him getting the backfield. Now he's getting work in the passing game. He's been running very efficient. He's been looking solid. Tyjae Spears, though, if something happens to Tony Pollard, you're going to want him. He is getting work, but not enough for you to get it done week in and week out. Devin Singletary, another volume running back to look at, like the Trey Sermon effect here, where he will hit for you probably once every 3 to 4 games to 10 to 12 PPR fantasy points. If he crosses the goal line, he's getting some work. We do have the Bears coming up, then Green Bay. He's a rough flex start, but most of you have other options with more upside. Terrell Jennings, he's fun. And if they're still banged up at running back going into this week, they didn't trade for a running back. They didn't do anything drastic. Terrell Jennings held it down. He held it down good enough that they did not trade for Breece Hall, Alvin Kamara, Tony Pollard. They did not make that move. They didn't make that move. Terrell Jennings is safe. He's safe. And they might roll with him some more. They might. I know it's 3.18 yards per carry, but you had that goal line look. You got that touchdown. He is a breath of fresh air here. That's something to look at, especially deeper leagues. He's rostered in deeper leagues, but we're all about Terrell Jennings here. Brashard Smith. Every week, it doesn't look good, but I can spin it a certain way every single week. We got a 20% snap share, which isn't great, but it's an increase over the average we're seeing here. We had a 20% snap share and a 35% snap share in weeks 4 and 7. Outside of that, that's his highest. We also had a run for 4 weeks where we're getting targets, 3 or more every single game. And a lot of those weeks, we were barely out there, but we were getting that workload. He is just a jigsaw piece weapon in this backfield. And when we were doing those you need videos, which we still will, we are pegging him to hit in the double-digit weeks. That was more than likely when he would get his opportunity, unless they drastically got hit with injuries. Out of the bye, a little bit after that, you can definitely see things ramping up. We're watching the routes ran. We're watching the snaps. He's not firing yet, but still a deep lottery ticket stash. The offense is great. He's got 4.3 speed. They're trying to get him out there. Malik Davis. If something happens in this offense, Malik Davis might be the next man up because Jaydon Blue's in the doghouse fumbling. Jaydon Blue has some good specs to his name. 4.3 speed, electric, and catch the ball in the backfield. He also has a history of not living up to the hype all the way back to high school. That's the thing about that. He's got a lot of hype, but he has not lived up to it. I told you that in all the deep dives. That is the question with Jaydon Blue. He has this. He has this. I can't say he can do this, but he has this for you in fantasy. But he's never lived up to it. He didn't at Texas, had an immaculate high school recruiting profile. Everybody was in on him. Very explosive prospect. He could be in the doghouse later on down the road, but he would have to get promoted a bit if something happens to Williams. And this is also a player. His name cachet, depending on your league, you could trade him and flip him if something happens to Williams. He does not have to score one single fantasy point to get you value. That's the type of player this is. Devin Neal. If Alvin Kamara goes out, Devin Neal's up. Everybody's blowing fab on him. Alvin Kamara has no incentive if he goes down with an injury to come back a week early. We can definitely say that with how this team looks. Devin Neal would have his time. He would get his moment, and he would be, I wouldn't say a fab buster because it's the Saints and Chuck, but he would command some capital. Dylan Sampson, everybody's calling him out as the next man up here. Quinshon Judkins will more than likely be back. We're not hearing much from the Browns right now. I don't think it's that big of a headline for them, but it is in the fantasy football streets. Quinshon Judkins will be back. It was a day-to-day injury, as they were saying, this going into the bye. But Dylan Sampson, like we said yesterday, is in every single fantasy football article. So if Judkins ever does go down, or if he is out for some reason, look for him to get targets in the passing game. With what they got at quarterback right now, they can't throw it more than 5 yards, so he would be getting check downs. He would have to break something loose, though. Ray Davis, Ty Johnson. If I got James Cook and I can swing it, it's going to be hard to do. Traditional 12-team leagues, it's hard to do one of these guys. So this is what would happen if James Cook went down. Ray Davis would be the fab buster here. Everybody would be going after Ray Davis. He's more likely to get the bulk of the workload. He would be the safer option. Ty Johnson would get work in the passing game. He's very explosive. There's a chance, even with Ray Davis, like last year, getting to work, he could still outscore Ray Davis. And I will say that, and both of them, like last year, would get unique videos in this situation. There's a chance he could. And he would be 40% cheaper-ish off the fab. Ray Davis, more expensive. You'd have to pay more. That's who I would stash because he would get that buzz. Everybody would be talking him up. Every single website, every single YouTube channel. But I'm going to cut you straight. Davis is the safer pick up, but in game, if he's the cold hand, Ty Johnson could steal it. It's that type between the two. Ollie Gordon, Jalen Wright. Ollie Gordon's questionable. Jalen Wright was inactive on Thursday last week. But Jalen Wright, I look at him as the Keaton Mitchell shotgun back in this backfield. He can get you a big fantasy production on any given touch if HN goes down. Ollie Gordon would be the guy. He would be the guy that we'd be looking at. He would be getting the touches. Former Doak Walker Award winner. He would get the buzz. He would be the fab buster. Justice Hill would not be a complete fab buster, but the market would go on him heavy. And then Keaton Mitchell always gets buzz. Keaton Mitchell would get some sort of market. He's good in the passing game. He's also very explosive. He can house it on any given touch, no matter where they're out on the field. So he would be a threat. He would be a good Jameson Williams-esque running back to throw in your flex if you're in a dire situation, need that gamble. Ameer Abdullah's next man up on the Colts. It might be a situation where they're rocking multiple different running backs. They might go by committee. Ameer Abdullah, as we're seeing here since week 5, has been seeing snaps, has been seeing touches. That's a lot of touches in this backfield, considering Jonathan Taylor is a hoss. He would be the next man up. Probably similar results compared to what he did last year with the Raiders. Kaleb Johnson. This is a good stash. He could be rostered in your league. 12-team redraft. Probably got returned to the waiver wire. A lot of upside with this kid. It's Arthur Smith. He's going to go with the safer play. Also, he's developing his game in facets where the ball's not in his hands. Pass protection, everything else. He only has 62 pass blocking snaps on his career at Iowa. He was pretty much the offense. And the leading target at Iowa last year only had 46 targets, which is ridiculous. Jamar Chase gets that in like 2-3 weeks with Flacco. For that reference, he still needs some time to develop in this offense. But if injuries hit, and if it hits hard over multiple weeks, you could see him get some touches down the line, and this is a big-time talent. Now you're looking at Sean Tucker. He's going to be hard to pick up in traditional 12-team leagues. We've just seen enough out of this backfield that Rachaad White has to go down. We're on bye. He ain't going down on bye. He ain't getting hurt on bye. So we're going to have to wait some more, and Bucky's going to be back. Those are the running backs we're looking at today off the Week 10 waiver wire. It's November. It's almost Thanksgiving time, but we're going to be with you all season long. Let me know who you're looking to pick up in the comment section below. I want to thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.